Hello learners. Now here we are given that alpha, beta and 1 are the roots of this cubic equation. Now we have to find alpha and beta. Fine. Now if you'll observe, this is already in the standard form, like some in like a stand in the form of like standard form. Now how see? The x cube coefficient of x cube is 1. So I can directly compare it with my standard form x cube plus p1 x square plus p2 x plus p3. Fine. Now by comparing, I am going to get p1, p2 and p3, which is my first task. Always compare with the standard form. First convert it to standard form, then compare it with the standard form so that you will get p1, p2, p3. That's the first step. After that, I'll teach you next what to do. So p1 is minus 2. Beside x square there is p1. Beside x square here minus 2 is there. Now beside x there is p2 here. There's p2 and beside x here I have minus 5. So don't forget the sign, okay? Some people forget minus. Now for p3, p3 6, fine. So p1 is minus 2, p2 is minus 5 and p3 6. Okay, now how to find out this alpha beta? See, we are going to use the concept of sum of roots and product of the roots. Sum of the roots for a cubic equation is nothing but minus p1. Sum of the roots is nothing but minus p1. Okay, the just given data I wrote alpha beta 1 are the roots of the given equation. Okay, remember this, sum of the roots is nothing but minus p1. p1, p2, p3 we already know. Right? See, once you convert the given equation, like to convert it to standard form and compare it, you have your p1, p2, p3. Now this is like a formula you can use. Sum of the roots is minus p1. Okay, chalo. Now what are our roots? Alpha, beta and 1. Sum of the roots is minus p1. Now sum of the roots is what? Alpha plus beta plus 1 only. Those are the roots, right? See, the roots are alpha, beta, 1. So sum of the roots is alpha plus beta plus 1. I hope it's clear. Minus p1, p1 we know, p1 is minus 2. So minus of minus 2. Okay. Now, so alpha plus beta plus 1 is 2, minus of minus 2 is 2. Alpha plus beta is going to be 2 minus 1, which is nothing but 1. Okay, and mark it as equation 1. Okay, now next, as I told, now I used the sum of the roots concept to get one equation. We have two variables alpha and beta, so I need at least two equations. Now how I am going to get my second equation? Product of the roots. Product of the roots is nothing but minus p3. This is another formula which you can remember. Once you convert and get p1, p2, p3, you can use this. Product of the roots is minus p3. Fine. Now what are our roots? Alpha, beta and 1. So product of the roots is going to be alpha into beta into 1. Fine. So alpha into beta into 1 is nothing but p3 is 6. You guys can just see here. See, p3 is 6. So minus p3 is minus 6. Okay. Chalo. So alpha beta is nothing but minus 6. So what I am going to do is I am going to send alpha to the RHS. So I am going to get beta is nothing but equal to minus 6 by alpha. So beta is nothing but equal to minus 6 by alpha and mark it as 2. Fine. If you remember, in our first equation we have alpha plus beta equal to 1. Now I am going to put beta as minus 6 by alpha in 1. So put 2 in 1. Use this in first one. Fine. So I get alpha minus 6 by alpha is equal to 1. See, our first equation is alpha plus beta equal to 1, right? That beta what I got minus 6 by alpha. So in place of beta I am going to put minus 6 by alpha. So I am going to get alpha minus 6 by alpha is equal to 1. Now basic simplification. Okay. Now I am going to take LCM. So here alpha would be the LCM. So alpha into alpha, alpha square minus 6 by alpha. Send this alpha in the denominator to the RHS. So you get alpha square minus 6 equal to 1 into alpha is alpha. Fine. Get this alpha to the LHS. Alpha square minus alpha minus 6 equal to 0. Now some factorization. Okay. Hope you guys know, that's why I am not going to go too deep. In case if you need help in factorization, please comment okay, so that I can help you out with factorization. I don't want to cover that in detail here. Basically what I am going to do is I am going to write this minus alpha. Okay, this minus alpha I am going to write it as minus 3 alpha plus 2 alpha. Okay, minus alpha I wrote it as minus 3 alpha plus 2 alpha, so that I can factorize this. So in these two terms, alpha square and minus 3 alpha, I can take alpha common if I, okay, and in these two terms 2 alpha and minus 6, I can take 2 common. So 2 into alpha minus 3 I will get. Here if I will take alpha common, I will get alpha into alpha minus 3. See, 1 alpha I took out, so 1 alpha is there inside, and alpha is taken out, so minus 3. So alpha into alpha minus 3. Okay. Next I am taking 2 common. So 2 into alpha minus 3. Okay, because 6 is 2 into 3. Once 2 is taken out, so 3 remains. Now in these two terms, take alpha minus 3 as common. Take alpha minus 3 as common. This is common, right? So if you will take alpha minus 3 as common, so you would get alpha minus 3 into, here alpha is left out, here plus 2 is left out. So alpha minus 3 into alpha plus 2 equal to 0. Okay, now we are coming to the end. Now alpha minus 3 into alpha plus 2 equal to 0. Fine, two cases. Either this is equal to 0 or this is equal to 0. When alpha minus 3 equal to 0, see here alpha minus 3 equal to 0 means alpha equal to 3, right? That is case 1. Likewise, alpha plus 2 equal to 0 means alpha equal to minus 2. So alpha has two values, 3 and minus 2. Fine. Okay. Now we have to find out beta. If you guys remember equation 2, if you guys remember the equation 2 here, beta is minus 6 by alpha. Beta is minus 6 by alpha. Beta is nothing but minus 6 by alpha. Okay. When alpha is 3, alpha has two cases. Alpha is 3, when alpha could be 3, alpha could be minus 2. When alpha is 3, what will be beta? When alpha is 3, beta will be nothing but minus 6 by 3, which is nothing but equal to minus 2. Okay, when alpha is 3, beta is minus 2. When alpha is minus 2, here, beta is minus 6 by alpha. This all you need not write, I am just telling you so that you guys will understand. Minus 6 by minus 2, which is 3. Okay, so it's pretty simple, guys. When alpha is 3, beta is minus 2. When alpha is minus 2, beta is 3. So when alpha is 3, beta is minus 2, and when alpha is minus 2, beta is 3. Fine. Let me just erase this. I think it's coming in the way. Okay. Fine. That's it. This is what they had asked us to find out, alpha and beta, and I got it. Okay. So thank you very much for staying with me up till now. Please check out the description for some other links which could be useful to you. And once again, thank you.